So as we are just over halfway through this championship season, I thought that now would be a good time for me to give you guys my championship team of the season so far. And when I was compiling this team, it was a really tough one to come up with. We've got a lot of players in the championship this season who have really been excelling. So to boil it down to just 11 players was a really tough one. I'd love to get your guys' opinions on this in the comments down below. And in today's video as well, I'm also going to be giving you guys my December team of the month for the players who I thought did best that month as well. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you do subscribe for some regular championship content. But we'll start the video out by going over my December team of the month, and then we'll move on into my team of the season so far. So looking at the form table for December, this is how the championship is lining up, with Hull City sat top of the table as they had the best form throughout December, winning 5 games and drawing 1, going unbeaten for the whole month. They had a superb one. And then looking at the bottom of the championship for who had the worst form throughout the month of December, we had Rotherham, Wigan and Reading all not winning a game throughout that month. So that was how the form table was lining up, but without further ado, we'll get into my team of the month. And so kicking things off as the goalkeeper for my December team of the month, we're going to have Nicky Meanpah of Bristol City. Now, there were a few contenders for this one, but Meanpah just edges it. Bristol City did manage to go unbeaten throughout the month, only conceding 5 goals, and Meanpah played a large contribution to that. When Bristol City first signed Meanpah, I wasn't too sure about him really. They were obviously in need of a goalkeeper throughout the whole summer transfer window. They eventually got one in Nicky Meanpah. I wasn't sure if he was quite going to be up to standard, but he's proved me wrong so far. He's been excellent for Bristol City so far this season. Has probably been one of the most underrated goalkeepers in the league so far. He kept clean sheets against Rotherham and Birmingham, as well as a man of the match performance against Derby County, where he popped up with some massive saves in that game. So my goalkeeper of the month is going to go to Nicky Meanpah. Then coming up next into my team of the month, I'm going to include these two players together. We're going to have Michael Morrison and Harley Dean of Birmingham City. Both of them being fantastic throughout the month, with Birmingham having the best defensive record throughout December, only conceding 3 goals. In this month, they've been able to keep 3 clean sheets and have been incredibly solid working alongside each other. What I find quite funny, there was some Birmingham fans tweeting it a couple of weeks ago that Michael Morrison has actually scored more goals this season as a centre-back than Jack Grealish has. It's an interesting stat. I know that goals don't mean everything when it comes to Jack Grealish, but interesting nevertheless. And partnering alongside Harley Dean lately, Birmingham have been looking back to their best in terms of their defensive record. They've got that defensive stability back, which they seem to be lacking throughout November. And then coming in to complete the back 3, we're going to have Pontus Jansson of Leeds United. He has had some massive performances for Leeds lately in the Championship. With the absence of Cooper in that backline for Leeds United, with him now being out injured, the onus for leadership is now on Pontus Jansson in that Leeds backline, and he has more than stepped up this season. He's been absolutely fantastic. Last season, he was a bit hit or miss. He was quite inconsistent, as were Leeds United on the whole, really. But this season, he has been incredibly consistent, and throughout the month of December, he was absolutely fantastic. He managed to pick up 2 Man of the Match awards against Bolton Wanderers and Aston Villa, scoring a goal against Villa as well. Then moving on into the midfield, we're first up going to have Gareth Barry of West Brom. Now, West Brom defensively on the whole so far this season have been pretty much all over the place. They've not been brilliant, and that's probably the reason why they're not sat in the top 2 at this point in time. But since Gareth Barry has come back into this West Brom squad and he's been starting on a regular basis, playing for 90 minutes, West Brom have looked so much more organised. Gareth Barry gives them that sense of leadership and protection in midfield, and he was fantastic throughout the month of December in my opinion. His standout game was against Sheffield United, where he was absolutely instrumental in West Brom picking up all 3 points. He covered absolutely every blade of grass in that game and scored a terrific goal as well. Then coming in next to him in midfield, once again we are going to have Pablo Hernandez. He's made it into quite a few of these videos so far. He's been fantastic, and throughout December he managed to pick up 5 assists and score 1 goal as well. He has been Leeds' main source of creativity going forward, and especially now that Samu Saiz is no longer in the team, a lot of that creative output, the onus is going to be put on Pablo Hernandez. And if Leeds are going to be, surging up the Championship for the rest of this season, they're going to need to keep a player like Hernandez fit. He is absolutely crucial to the way they play. And he had some absolutely brilliant matches throughout that month as well, obviously scoring the winner against Sheffield United, albeit he was gifted that goal from a mistake from Dean Henderson, but even so, scoring a goal in that game, picking up 2 assists in the game they had against Aston Villa as well. Then next up in midfield, we've got to have Jarrod Bowen of Hull City. What an unbelievable month he was able to have, scoring 6 goals and picking up 2 assists as well. It's no surprise to see why there are so many Premier League clubs coming in for Jarrod Bowen in the January transfer window. He's been absolutely sublime lately. In the month of December, he managed to score a brace against QPR, Swansea City and Leeds United. He was man of the match in all those games, as well as picking up an assist in the game they had against Millwall as well. Hull have been on an unbelievable run of form lately in the Championship, and their main threat going forward has been Jarrod Bowen. And then coming in to complete the midfield for this team of the month, we're going to have Paul Volchek of Queen's Park Rangers, and probably one of the most underrated players in the Championship lately. QPR have been going magnificently this season under Steve McLaren. I've got to say, I've been completely taken back by them. At the start of the season, they were one of the favourites to be relegated, but they've completely flipped that on its head and are currently just sat below the playoff places. And Volchek is a player who I have liked the look of so far this season. He's played out on that right wing for them so far and has come up with some big moments for them. Scored 3 goals throughout the month against Ipswich, Middlesbrough and Hull City, as well as picking up an assist, and he got the man of the match in the game they had against Middlesbrough. He has been very good for them so far this season, and because we talk about people like Eze and Luke Freeman and Naki Wells in that QPR side, someone like this tends to go overlooked a little bit, but I thought he deserved this place in this team of the month as I've been impressed by him lately. Then moving on to the strike force, first up we're going to have Billy Sharp of Sheffield United, scoring his 220th goal the other day. He's now the leading goal scorer in English League football this century. He had a very consistent month, managing to score 5 goals, picking up 2 goals in the game they had against Blackburn Rovers. And Billy Sharp really is just like a fine wine, still doing it in the Championship at 32 years of age. He's scored 16 goals already this season, and I mean, what a player Billy Sharp has been. And coming up next to him, we are then going to have Teemu Pukki once again making it into my team of the month. He's made it into pretty much every month because he has been so consistent throughout this season. In the month of December, he managed to have a goal contribution for every game he appeared in, scoring 5 goals and picking up 3 assists. He's scored so many clutch goals for Norwich so far this season, and without doubt has got to be the bargain buy of the season. And then this last spot in my team is going to go to Kemar Roofe. This one was a bit of a 50-50 between either Roofe or Tammy Abraham. I'm just going to give it to Roofe because of the dramatic goals he scored. He was able to score 5 goals throughout the month of December, and like Teemu Pukki, he's come up with some really clutch goals for Leeds United lately. He scored a very dramatic brace in the game they had against Blackburn Rovers, turning that one around late on. He managed to score a late winner against Aston Villa as well, and he scored both goals in the win they had against QPR. But as you guys can see on screen now, that is my team of the month for the month of December. Do you guys agree with my selections? Let me know down below. It was a pretty tough one to come up with that list. In terms of my manager of the month, it's got to be Nigel Atkins of Hull City. They've been on an unbelievable run lately in the Championship, and he's worked absolute wonders there lately. As for my goal of the month, there were quite a few bangers scored in December as well. I'm just going to give it to Harry Wilson for his absolute screamer he scored against Swansea City. The amount of swerve it had in it to go ahead and arrow into that top corner was absolutely unbelievable. Then finally, my play of the month for December has to go to Jared Bowen of Hull City. He was unbelievable that month. So do let me know in the comments down below whether you guys agree with my selections, but we will now move on into talking about my Championship team of the season so far. This is one which could spark up quite a few debates in the comments down below. I'm interested to see what you guys are saying. I've had to leave some pretty big players out of this one, but I have boiled it down to 11 players that I am pretty happy with. So without further ado, let's hop into my team. So starting things out in goal for my best goalkeeper of the season so far, I am going to give it to Darren Randolph of Middlesbrough. So far this season, they do have the best defensive record in the league, only conceding 18 goals, which is absolutely ridiculous. He's been able to keep the most clean sheets so far this season and has been a big contributing factor to why Middlesbrough have been so good defensively. He's popped up with some clutch saves for them so far this season. There have been some of the top goalkeepers so far this season, don't get me wrong. Jack Butland's had a fantastic season so far, but in my opinion, Darren Randolph has to make it in there. In terms of consistency and playing at a high level, Darren Randolph's been the best so far, probably. Then coming in at right back, I'm going to have Max Aarons of Norwich City. Heading into this season, I didn't know much about him, so I wasn't really sure what to expect from him, but so far he's been absolutely fantastic, and it's no surprise to see why there is so much Premier League interest in this guy. Only 18 years old, he's been such a consistent performer for this Norwich City side so far this season, and probably has been one of their most underrated players actually. Already scoring 2 goals and picking up 3 assists from that right back position. He can make bombing runs going forward. Technically on the ball, he's absolutely superb. He links up with the players well around him, and he understands his role in this Daniel Farke system, and so for my money, Max Aarons has been the best right back so far. Then moving on into our centre backs, coming up first up, we're going to have Pontus Jansson of Leeds United. Now this was a bit of a 50-50 between Cooper or Pontus Jansson. I'd be interested to know from Leeds fans, who do you think's been better so far? And maybe it's because of his recent performances which have swayed my mind a little bit, but Pontus Jansson has been an absolute animal in the Championship so far this season. He's been absolutely superb for Leeds United and is one of the main reasons why they are doing so well. He's got that physical presence at the back, but as well as that, he's also able to play with composure on the ball, and so for that reason, Pontus Jansson makes it into this team of the season. He's been brilliant so far. Then coming in to partner him at centre-back, we're going to have Aidan Flint of Middlesbrough. Like Darren Randolph, obviously Middlesbrough having the best defensive record in the Championship so far. I had to include a couple of their defenders. I wasn't really sure who to include, but I've just decided to give it to Aidan Flint. He's got an average match rating of 7.0 5'07", and standing at 6'6", he was always going to fit in well to this Tony Pulis system. And to complete my back line, coming in at left back, I'm going to have Ender Stevens of Sheffield United. Been quite an underrated player for them so far this season. A lot of plaudits for the Sheffield United side have rightly gone to players like Billy Sharp and Ollie Norwood, but Ender Stevens has been fantastic whenever I have seen him play. Mostly playing in that left wing back position, he's been able to pop up with 6 assists so far this season and has been brilliant both going forward and defensively as well. There's not been many people who've got the best of Ender Stevens so far this season. Then this next one was a bit of a 50-50 as well between Calvin Phillips and Click. We moved on to midfield now. I'm just going to give it to Calvin Phillips because I think that in this Bielsa system, he's been absolutely instrumental for them. Playing as that defensive midfielder, winning the ball back, playing at this high intensity that Bielsa wants them to play at. Without Calvin Phillips, the system sort of falls apart. He's either played as a defensive midfielder or as a centre-back. In my opinion, his best position is being that defensive midfielder. At centre-back, he can do a job there, but I don't think he's 100% comfortable. He's been able to get 2 assists for Leeds so far this season. His composure on the ball is brilliant, and he's been able to fit into this Bielsa system like a glove. Then coming in alongside him in central midfield, I'm going to have Ollie Norwood of Sheffield United, another absolutely superb player for the Blades so far this season. In midfield, he's been able to score 2 goals and pick up 4 assists, but what I've been most impressed by Norwood so far is his ability to control the game of football. So far, he's been able to pick up 5 man of the match awards for Sheffield United, and he's also got an average match rating of 7.44, which is really high for a player at this stage in the season. Moving on to that right-hand side, we're then going to have Pablo Hernandez, another Leeds player, making it into this team. It's no surprise to see why, really. So far, he's been able to score 7 goals and pick up 10 assists. There's no doubt in my mind that by the end of the season, he'll be in double figures for both goals and assists, which is some doing really. He's been playing on the right hand side for Leeds so far this season, and his performances have been at an incredibly high level, having an average match rating of 7.5, picking up 3 man of the match awards for Leeds so far. He's that player who's able to spark a bit of magic, create something out of nothing, and in my opinion, Pablo Hernandez has got to make it into this team. A shout for the best player in the Championship so far too, in my opinion. Then making it in as my left winger, I'm going to have Harvey Barnes of West Brom. Now this one was a really tough one to decide. It was between Harvey Barnes, Joe Lolly and Harry Wilson. I've just decided to give it to Harvey Barnes. So far been able to score 9 goals and pick up 6 assists. I just think Barnes has had that little bit more consistency than the other 2 players. It's not just his ability to score goals, it's his ability to create for others as well. He's been absolutely fantastic, and it's no surprise to see why there are some rumours currently going around of Leicester possibly wanting to recall Harvey Barnes. Next season, there's no doubt in my mind he will be a Premier League player. He's got that quality in absolute abundance, and if West Brom are to sneak into the top 2 this season, Harvey Barnes is going to play a key role in that. Then moving on into my forward 2. First up, coming up, we're going to have Teemu Pukki of Norwich City. I had to include Pukki for the amount of clutch goals he's scored for Norwich so far. With them currently sat 2nd in the Championship and Pukki being their talisman going forward, I could not include him. He's been able to score 15 goals, picking up 4 assists. Norwich have had some ridiculous games so far this season, having late drama, scoring late goals, and most of it has fallen down to Teemu Pukki, popping up when it most matters in big moments. Teemu Pukki is the player who rises to the occasion. And then coming in as my final player, I'm going to have Tammy Abraham of Aston Villa, currently the joint top scorer in the league with Billy Sharp. Now there were some players who were really unfortunate not to make it into this spot because there have been some absolutely brilliant strikers in the Championship so far. Billy Sharp's been excellent, Neil Maupay as well, Lewis Grabban, Dwight Gale, Kamal Roof's been absolutely brilliant, Lucas Djukovic for Birmingham as well, scoring 10 goals and picking up 8 assists. He's been brilliant for them. But I am just going to include Tammy Abraham into my team. His clinical ability inside the 6-yard box is absolutely, it goes unparalleled in the Championship really. Him and Billy Sharp are really on another level in terms of that poacher's ability. I do still think that a player like Tammy Abraham has a couple of more things to add to his game, but overall Tammy Abraham, brilliant in the Championship so far, and it's no surprise to see why there is so much Premier League interest in him. But as you can see on screen now, guys, that is my Championship team of the season so far. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you guys agree with my selections? Like I said, this was a really hard side to go and compile. There were some massive players who I had to leave out of my team, so do let me know in the comments down below who would you include in your 11. But apart from that, guys, that will go ahead and wrap it up for this video. So thank you very much for watching. If you have gone in to enjoy, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you subscribe for some regular Championship content. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.